Hello, everyone. Hello, Garbage Main, and thank you, Tyler, for having me. And
I think Tyler is amazing.
And it just makes me wonder, you're dead, bitch. You know, why are you doing this to this poor guy?
And I'm a fan of this show. I've watched several episodes and enjoyed it.
I go both ways. What do you think?
Archie Flower, are you there, sir?
hello.
The homeless are a fucking huge problem.
And then right after that, you probably thought, well, I don't have it.
All right, let's go to another caller in Texas. Let's talk to Andrew. Andrew, thanks for calling.
Andrew. Libertarian to Renaissance Fair pipeline.
Right. Yes, my maiden queen.
I had to get more beer.
Okay. Harry, thank you.
Welcome, everybody, to Libertarian Podcast Review, or is it Killpod? I don't know. This is Tyler Yonkin. That's your Star Spangled Banner. We're starting out being a little patriotic today. You're saying, where's Andy? That's what I'm saying too. Andy is he's supposed to be. Let's see. We're also live on Spaces. He is in there. I'm going to bring him in, invite him to speak, and see if he. Okay, he's been requested. Let's see if he comes in, and then we're going to bring our first guest in. So. Let's hope this works. Come on, you can do it. And Dickie's coming up. Hello, everybody. Let's can this music here. Let's can that out. Hope everyone's doing good. This is the impromptu. This is Andy. He goes, hey, let's do a show Friday night. And I go, what time? And he's like, hey, how about 7:30? Because it's plenty of time. And you gonna make it? Oh yeah. So he just called me, and he's on the road, and he's not here. So join. I'm telling him to join, and he's gonna do it. And then we're gonna talk to a few people here. We got the comments coming in here. Oh, you're good. These are people. Is Andy Twitter dead? Andy, are you there? Let's try it one more time. Invite to speak. He's now muted. Andy, are you there? All right, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Appreciate it.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Are you working right now, sir?
Yeah, we're in the field getting some OT.
Okay. People, give me a thumbs up there if you can hear Andy. I know it sounds horrible, but okay. Wow, this is about as bad as it can go, and I'm thankful for it. Andy, we're going to talk about all kinds of things. We're going to have people on here. They're going to rant. But my topic I'm going to push everybody on is their favorite celebrity sex scandal. What's yours?
I'm going to have to go with Bill Cosby. I mean, if anyone did it right, it was Bill Cosby.
Okay. We got a thumb up. People are listening. Bill Cosby. So what's your favorite thing about the Bill Cosby sex scandal?
Well, for one, you can't get Quaaludes anymore. So it was just a timeless, encapsulated event, that happened. And just the sheer magnitude of it and the volume, it's hard to top something like that.
Okay. Yes.
And, for all his, the Winslows, wasn't that his family name on TV?
Huxtables.
Huxtables, that's what it was. Yeah. For all of that good time and warm and fuzzy feeling, he was still getting it in, just like anybody else.
Right. What do you think about the name Huxtable as a good African-American family name?
I think it's great. It works, as a first, middle, and last name. Huxtable, Huxtabelli. They'll probably put some apostrophes in there,
Okay. I think I approve of
how
that.
they do.
I do. So give us a heads up. What's your status right now as far as you on the road? Where are you at?
I'm at Top Golf currently. Just delivered 10 cases.
Okay.
2 cases of Tito, 1 case of Jack Daniels, 1 case of something called Mount Gay Barbados Rum.
Okay.
Crown Royal, and Bullet Bourbon.
Okay. And what's your ETA? Toxic Voxic came in here with Bill Clinton as his favorite sex scandal. What do you think of that?
I mean, that's a great one, but that's like the one that jumps to the top of the list.
Right. What would you say about Hillary Clinton as your favorite sex scandal? And what I mean by that is, if she had sex with Bill, it might be a scandal.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right on that one. It would be a scandal.
Okay. Trudeau's mom's a whore. That's what Not Ron said. Okay, I don't know where that came out, but we're glad to put that out on the air. Okay, should we take our first person here, or did you have other things you wanted to say? And can you keep chiming in, or do you have to mute yourself?
I gotta mute myself.
Okay. Well, okay, everybody, we're bringing in. Oh, look at that, Titus Polio.
Oh yeah, it's more relevant. It's more relevant now that everyone's all thinking about the Roman Empire.
Are they?
Yeah, I call bullshit. These are all posers. I put a tweet out a while back when it was starting to blow up. Like, everyone thinks about Roman Empire in their gay little head. I honor Rome by posing naked in front of my mirror. Okay.
Good. So do you have the cod piece or not?
I don't need a cod piece. I go fully nude. So
wait, before that, what happens when your mom walks in on you?
I live alone. I just moved down. I moved down to Austin. I have a new life. I got new stuff going on.
By the way, congratulations and awesome for you. So you're living alone. You moved out. I was making a joke, and you did the right answer, by the way, that you're not living at home. What are you doing for work? Or are you going to school? What's the situation there?
I have a few separate jobs. I'm not going to dox myself, but I have a few jobs in the works.
That's the problem. Okay.
I'm working at music and arts. It's not anything fancy.
No, you didn't have to tell me what. I mean, now you did, Doctor. I just meant, like, what are you doing? You got a job? Okay, good stuff.
I got a few jobs. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do this here. I'm gonna give you a chance to do the 1 minute. You know how this works. I'm gonna play it, and you're gonna do your minute, whatever. You're gonna sing a song, I guess. A dance.
No. I just have this because I'm just
okay.
doodling.
Okay, sounds good. So when you hear this. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. When you hear this one, well, that's not the right one. It's been a while. When you hear this one,
yep,
that's when your 1 minute
is.
And
then I get the Nick Sarwark one.
I know. I'm trying to let the audience know, but I fucked it up big time. Okay, so ready, go.
All right, so let's start with the because I have some discussion stuff I want to get done. But first, let's start with the celebrity scandal stuff, and I'm gonna go my favorite. I got a few favorites. The first one is just one of my favorites is the Larry Sinclair gay sex crack Obama thing, because it's like, we all know Obama's gay, right? Like, you just look at him, he's a gay. Not only is that, I'm gonna go on record and say that he's not even our blackest president. I think Donald Trump is a blacker president. He flaunts about his money. He talked about his second wife as the best pussy he ever had. He has a mugshot, freed many black rappers. He's more black than Barack Hussein Obama. But I think it's very funny that all of a sudden this gay crackhead is on Tucker's show talking about this thing that he's been talking about for like decades, about how he smoked crack and had gay sex. And it's like, we knew that. We just needed someone to prove it. That's one that I really like. I'm also a big fan of the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky one. Oh yeah, I got my little warning here. This is just a quick thing. But I just like the fact that because Hillary's a power-hungry bitch, she still had to fuck Bill, still had to be married to Bill afterwards because she needs that power. It's just a funny thing to me. But yeah.
Well done.
Now,
a few comments on there. So, by the way, I appreciate that. Do you know that Bill Clinton was called the first black president? That's what Tony. I'm sorry. So some black lady said that about him.
Why is he the first black president? Because he cheated on his wife?
Wow. He was the one that most promiscuous about it. I don't know why she said that. It seems pretty bad to me. I thought I would bring this up real quick. This was I did this in a tweet, but look at this. This is from 2014, I think. The Examiner. This was about him being, marriage to Michelle's a sham. He had sex with this guy.
Is that Harry Styles?
I don't. Right. It might be. I don't know if it's that guy you mentioned. What's his name again? Larry
Sinclair. He's the guy that was on Tucker's show.
Right. I don't know if that's him back then or not, but gay lifestyle.
Didn't Beau Biden lock him up in Delaware for calling Obama a homo?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe.
Was that during Biden's tough guy arc? I think people forget that, like, while he was, Joe Biden.
Well, I think his son was the AG at the time or something like that.
Really? I'll have to do a little bit of digging. I know that Joe Biden during his vice presidency was kind of tough guy, and he's tried to play that up again with the aviators and all that stuff. But like, he was kind of portray himself as a hard ass. So it wouldn't surprise me if he went and he's like, "All right, Jack, we're putting you in prison in Delaware." But I also wanted to ask you a question, Tyler, because there's a lot of, so I moved down to Austin. There's a lot of bike lanes in Austin, right?
Okay.
And I think that,
Kill them.
well, I was going to say that bike lanes will never work. And the reason why is because for them to work, there needs to be a mutual respect between the cyclist and the driver. And neither side has respect for the other nowadays. The cyclist views the driver as an arrogant, lowbrow idiot. And the driver views himself as the king of the road, rightly so. And as you're a cyclist, gay, etc.,
Sorry.
I'd like to hear your opinion on that.
That's a great question, but we are interviewing you. No, I'll answer. Actually, I don't know. I mean, I like places that have bike lanes, but what I prefer is like
As a gay man.
as a gay man, bike paths, right? In a sense, you don't need to know. You don't need to like have these big bike lanes that I've seen in some, towns and cities. You just need to have a little bit of a little bit more than. And here in California, and I'll get to your main point here. Here in California, we have what's called a 3-foot rule, which is you're supposed to give 3 feet. Look, car is always going to win the battle between the two of you. So these cyclists that go out there that are acting all brave and basically flex against the car, you're going to lose, and it's a stupid thing to do. So I don't do that kind of stuff. The guys I ride with, we don't do that. So I didn't really ever get in trouble. But then a lot of the cars are stupid too, and you're right, they think they own the road, and they're dumb as well. So I don't. Is the bike lane going to work? No, because it's much like the carpool lane where you're trying to force people into some sort of ideas, and you're probably taking up a lot of room. All you need is a little spot.
It's a lot of words just to say it's the white man's burden.
It is the white man's burden.
Yeah.
I legitimately, and also the concept of bike, like
Bike
a lot
lanes would work if everyone was, etc. ...
Well, and here's the other thing. Bike lanes in Austin are just a bad idea because about 4 months out of the year, I don't think half that. Number one, it's a spread out city. Number two, it's hot as fuck for a good part of the year. Why you want to be biking in 110 degree weather? But yeah.
Oh, I'll just say I ride in all raced in 115, so it happens.
But you're gay, Tyler. That gives like a bonus.
And I'll say Austin has, with Lance Armstrong there, it has a little bit of a history. But I'll tell you this: people that are out training, you're not going downtown. You're not using those bike lanes for anything other than your ride's done, and maybe you live downtown and you're coming down there. So it's really for the commuters. So you have a good point, I think there. Look, you don't need to have a lot of this infrastructure. You redo nice roads. If there's room for it, there's room for it. And then there's really no excuses for the cars either.
Bike and pedestrian paths, I really like. If you're going to have little pedestrian little paths or bike paths, I like that from a city planning perspective. I'm not a city planner, but I play city skylines. So it's basically the same thing. I think that it's
Lorenzo, what do you think about guys who forego on their podcast plans to make overtime money?
I think that is a good example of the working class white man being just a champion.
It sounds like rich man south of Richmond.
Okay, one thing I wanted to say about that guy, and I didn't say it during the time because it was all a hot button issue, but he's got a good pure voice, but I don't think that song was in his range. I think it was just right above his range. I think if he was a little lower, I know one thing. Andy is a very...
But you're allowed to be a little flat on songs like that.
Yeah,
a little pitchy dog.
Yeah, you're a little pitchy, and we'll have a few voice cracks and stuff. I was going to say, Andy has a very eclectic music taste. You wouldn't expect it looking at, a working class white man, but he's gotten me into Afro beat, and he's gotten me into some good funk. What's that Mono Neon song?
Mute him. I've never seen a black man in my entire life, and I don't even listen to music. So everything is a pure fabrication right now.
It was lovely. It was lovely seeing him in Nashville. I got to see him. It was a great time.
By the way, did he? I swear to God, I sent Andy. I Venmo'd him money specifically to take you out. Did he pay for anything, or did he just pocket this money?
Oh, we went to a recording studio where I got to meet up with the original bass player Danzig, who played with the Misfits. I had no idea who he was until afterwards, and Andy told me.
So no is the answer.
I tried to take him out. This motherfucker ate before I got there. And then I took him to a recording studio. I was like, hey, you'll probably like this. And he's like, well, I don't want to go anywhere else. So,
and then you went to go. It was great. Andy was an excellent host. He's much taller than you'd think. He's tall and lanky.
No, I think he's tall. You're in Austin now. Are you looking to, people go there, the big deal, they're going there for the comedy, but it's always been a town and a city for music. And I know you're big into that. Is that a reason why you went there?
That's the sole reason I went there.
Okay. So how's that going?
Yeah,
then?
but Nashville's better, so come here.
True.
When you're done being gay in Austin.
I'll come visit. I've been auditioning for a fair few things. I'm just trying to get the job stuff sorted out first, and then I can start looking more at music stuff.
That is a great idea. I think it's what you should be doing to make sure that you're responsible for yourself in there.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about cycling. So I had done that in my life. I went to Boulder, Colorado, which is kind of the Hollywood for cyclists. Same idea. You go there, take your shot, have fun. And you're young, do it when you have a chance. And I think that's great. So good luck with you there. Anything else? And I'll let you hang. You said you had to take off in a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I can hang around for a bit, but, one thing for you, did you see that there's a remaster of Deadwing by Porcupine Tree?
No.
They did a year or so ago, I think earlier this year, they released like a deluxe Porcupine Tree, great prog band. You wouldn't like them. Porcupine Tree.
Right here. This is a little sample for you. Oh my! Yeah, we're going off the rails.
So
All right, get those crackers out of my ear.
So it's they released a remaster, and they finally put the remaster on Spotify. I'm waiting for the deluxe edition to come out on Spotify too, because it's got some of the really good hits like Half Light and some of the stuff that didn't get onto Deadwing. They did a good job. It's a lot spacier. The original Deadwing is it's a little too compressed. It's very Loudness War, like early rock radio, early 2000s rock radio produced. So yeah, I figured you'd be into hearing that.
Yeah, I mean, that is my favorite album, and people can like whatever albums they want, but that is my favorite. It's the first one I found of theirs, and it's just always stuck, and it's got a good little spot in my memory as far as time period and everything. So I enjoy it. Do you have a gay sex scandal that rings your bell that you like?
I already said Larry Sinclair.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I kept thinking about your Bill Clinton one. Any straight ones?
My gay sex scandal was my little bout with Top earlier on this year.
You guys okay now?
I'm happy to pass the olive branch out. I haven't really heard anything from him, but I am, I heard him on your guys' show. It's, I still think he's kind of retarded when it comes to some stuff, but listen.
Sure.
But
by the way, I specifically, I didn't.
Isn't that his shtick?
Right.
Yeah,
you have to accept that. I'm pretty cool, so you have to accept me being cool all the time.
It's true. I did a whole episode playing. I watched half of their one talk about Oliver Anthony. Actually, his name is Chris, and kind of going down their throats on it. And I just heard Tom Woods do an episode about him today. And you know what, people? It's a fucking song. You don't do a libertarian, and I know I've done a whole show about Tom Woods. You don't do a libertarian podcast about the virtues and breaking down. Is this guy a communist? Because he said, I don't want a dime. And I'm like, it's a fucking song he wrote. Probably words that rhyme. Let's just let it go.
And it's the issue. I'm happy to reach the olive branch out to Top. We're both East Coast guys. We're both New York guys.
Are you still talking about Top Lops?
But he's another gay man, But I will say with that as well, like the Owen Benjamin type shit, where it's like it's just people see conspiracies with everything, and it's just like, oh Jesus fucking Christ, give me a break. That's my favorite. Do you see?
Dave Portnoy, Lexington, Kentucky, gay thing. Yes, I believe you're right.
I think you should get Dave.
Look, this is just a bunch of Jewish people discussing other Jewish people right now. Has Yom Kippur started, or what's going on here?
Rosh Hashanah was last week.
Are you Jewish, Lorenzo?
I'm a quarter Jew.
Quarter Jew.
See?
So what does that mean for you? Do you? Oh, the nose, just the nose. Okay, gotcha.
And the hair. I got the kinky hair.
Yeah, that was gonna say that, or you're half black. Maybe.
And the subversive, general subversive mentality.
Right.
Andy's been on my ass for me being aggressive to against white women. I've got myself a lady now, so I'm gonna cool off on that.
Well, congratulations. Tell you what, we're gonna bring in the next guest here.
All right.
You can hang, Lorenzo. You can sit tight here and watch, but we're gonna bring in our next guest on stage 2 from Alaska, dancing. Everybody, get your dollars out. It's Leighton.
Oh, what's good, Leighton?
Hey, I don't think I've been on with the new background and stuff yet.
We all have the
new
same
camera
mic.
too.
Oh,
yeah.
What's the background? Is it the Confederate flag or is it something Alaska related?
It's a bunch of wanted posters and big one up there that's just a thing of pussy.
Okay.
Kidding. Leighton Radner, how you doing? The big host from Outlawed Thoughts. Tell us how you're doing first off, and then we'll let you get to your rant. Just how are things going, and what do you want to throw out there?
I'm doing all right. Just been getting ready. I'm taking a trip here to Florida. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna get some footage for some videos. I'm gonna edit when I get back. Some like essays and stuff. But other than that, I've just been sort of working a ton over here. Sort of getting shows out periodically. I've got some cool ones coming out soon. I've got a interview I'm sort of putting together with Yoshi Obayashi, who's a porn producer, now getting a stand-up comic, now getting into politics. Interesting character.
Oh. Here, I was like, is that the guy that did Bitcoin? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's do your minute rant here. You know how this works. You hear the crickets. That's a minute. You got to shut it down when you finally hear this.
For Adolf Hitler.
So, ready to go?
Yes.
Let's do it.
So, I do not believe there was a single legal case brought against Michael Jackson that was actually credible. I believe the guy was entirely completely innocent of every single one of those cases, and it is a sex scandal which engulfed a person's career that when you look at the court cases now with hindsight and you look at the actual evidence presented and all of the stuff around it is complete and utter horseshit. It's one of those sex scandals because it involves sex. It is a sex scandal, but it is it sort of went off the rails because you have sort of people who went in and said that this person did this. The parents were, in many cases, taking these children to people who were literally drugging them, which was something that was uncovered later on after the case had closed. This is the original trial. But I suggest everybody listen to, there's a couple great videos on YouTube about it, but it's an interesting topic that I delved into over the last couple weeks.
All right, we'll give you some applause for that. It was pretty good. I hadn't thought of Michael Jackson.
As a black nationalist, supporting Michael Jackson, and let's assume that his kitty diddling was real. Does that make him a great libertarian?
So no, I mean, I watched a Razor Fist video, which was really good. It goes over sort of all the trials and some of the evidence that had been put together on the whole thing. And I sort of went digging after that for a couple weeks, just sort of reading through, court stuff and just random documentary stuff from his lawyer, who's still basically talking about the same shit because even though he's not getting paid by the family anymore, he still says, no, this guy was innocent of all this shit. Like, he didn't do it, which is something you don't see from a lot of lawyers in the celebrity world. Like, they typically, once those people die and stuff, they just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So I always found that interesting. And so I started reading through the stuff and I'm like, oh, this is like actually fucked. Like, he was basically put in a situation where they held his tour hostage with a court case. And he was forced to it by his management to basically plead to the one charge back in the first case that he dealt with, which he knew when it went to trial would have been a slam dunk for him. But it was, do you want to sit in trial for 6 months or do you want to go on tour and make $25-30 million? And so when you're getting those choices, like when the court system's used that way, it sort of puts you in a rough position.
Right. Like, look, you can go and make all this money and buy another child.
Is that the name of his pet monkey?
So I don't want to like. He's done horrible shit too. Like there's a picture that they talk about a Legion of Skanks recently where he's like dangling a kid out the fucking window and off the like balcony and shit.
His son.
Blanket.
That is fine.
Like,
The
that's
guy
my
should have been institutionalized, but he didn't probably touch those kids. Like I just don't buy it.
Let me say about this. So what's interesting is any court case. What's going on? Is that you, Andy?
Yeah, I just popped my air brake.
Okay. Whew.
I'm back at the warehouse.
Is that a euphemism?
Sounds like me sitting down.
Also, I'm gonna say the worse shit that Michael Jackson did, the more I like his music. Like I'm a big fan. I mean, that's why I'm a big R. Kelly fan. The minute I've never listened to a single song of R. Kelly, but man, I love him.
But he can urinate on young girls like no one else.
He can urinate on my
Harvey
face.
Weinstein underground album.
Listen,
I'm just saying,
Pulp
like
Fiction. Pulp Fiction's a great movie. Who's it produced by?
Tarantino.
Just saying.
Let me just say this. So as far as Michael Jackson goes, I get what you're saying there. And what's interesting is like I've been digging into this Leo Frank case, and you know people are
That's an interesting one, by the way.
It's very interesting. And I will give this a little bit. I think he's guilty, but you've also there's no direct evidence. Okay, so it's a little bit I can see where you can the skeptical libertarian mind of everything's a conspiracy can look at it and start breaking it down. You know who Legal Man is on Twitter. I don't know. He's got a pretty decent show, but he started to say things like the Kaczynski case was bullshit. And I'm like, okay, well, two things here. Does Ted Kaczynski ever say he didn't write the manifesto, right? He wants to take credit for the manifesto. If he took credit for the manifesto, then the trial's not bullshit and he's the actual guy. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The other case the other thing I had looked into, but I didn't actually do enough research to like fully get into, but it's an insane situation. Back in like 2017, 2018, this guy Ethan Berkowitz, he was the mayor of Anchorage, Alaska. Okay. Yes. So we're gonna get there. This comes into play. So this guy was mayor of Anchorage. He was like the star of the Democrats. They loved this dude. And then some fugly ass news reporter in Anchorage destroyed his entire life because he outed that he was like sending messages to him and called him like left a voicemail, which then was made public in Alaska, where she is just calling him like basically a Jewish devil and a pedo and all the things under the roof. And then she released nude photos of him, allegedly, on her social media. And then he resigned as mayor, and then the FBI had to come in and investigate everybody, and then the reporter ended up getting arrested. So it's like this entire shit show of a chronicle that sort of just ended in like 2021, but I have to like get all the pieces together.
So I've got a few.
Tyler,
yeah, go ahead.
How much did I miss before I logged on here? You said Toxic was in here?
Voxic, yeah. Why?
Did he come on the show, or is he just in the comments?
No, he's just in the comments. But you guys, maybe I'll put this link out to everybody, or DM me if you want to. I'm just gonna say real quick. One of my there's so many good celebrity sex scandals, but one that just came to mind, Jerry Springer. He was the mayor of Cincinnati. Okay, he gets run out.
Right.
He gets run out of there for, and if I got my facts right, which I think I do, he was getting prostitutes, paying them with city checks.
Yeah. It's the most absolutely G shit you could possibly do. Like,
he's also he's blacker. The more gangsta shit you do in office, the blacker you are.
He's also Jewish too. He's another member of the tribe.
Dude, it's a triple threat.
It's a knockdown. How about Marion Barry? Anybody remember him doing crack he was the mayor
of DC?
Yeah.
Well, what about like Rob Ford over in Canada? Didn't he do the same shit?
Who?
He was like, was it Rob Ford?
Rob Ford.
Toronto, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Toronto. He was just like
those
slinging
clips of him were
dope. Like that dude was like.
Let me tell you guys about the
Nashville
mayor
had
of
its
my
own
old city.
Mayor Barry.
So my old city, Rochester, New York. I can dox it now because I don't live there anymore. So Rochester. So the mayor, Lovely Warren, former mayor, her husband was busted with Andy is delivering beer. So her husband was busted with being part of a massive cocaine smuggling ring in the city.
Sweet.
She tried to walk away from it by saying, "Oh, we were divorced." What divorced wife isn't all up in their ex's affairs?
Right, especially them. Let me just answer this question for David. David, we have a Spaces going simultaneously. Andy's driving his truck in the Spaces as a speaker while Lorenzo plays his guitar. Fascinating podcast.
Oh wait, sorry. Can you hear that? I'm so sorry.
Yes. Yeah, I can still hear it. You can mute yourself. All right. Tell you what.
I can't hear it in the Spaces, thankfully.
Oh, really?
You like the bass?
You're good.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm back at the warehouse. I got like 2 pallets to pull off and like 30 cases of liquor, and then I'll be headed home, fellas.
Okay. We may be done here before then, but we'll keep going. Not Ron says, reporter asked Rob Ford about allegations he went down on a prostitute. He said, I have more than enough to eat at home.
That's on camera, by the way. It's one of my favorite. This dude is an infinite meme machine. Rob Ford was great.
I remember when it came out. By the way, Lorenzo, you talked about the tough guy arc of Joe Biden, but do you remember the 2020 election? He's at some factory, I think in Michigan, and he tried to like stand up to a guy, almost like getting a fight with him.
Yeah.
The guy was talking about taking away his gun rights, and that guy got famous, especially in the right wing sphere.
Mm-hmm.
I followed him on Twitter for a bit, but so he still tries to do that kind of stuff.
He still tries to play up that thing. You know, that's the thing. That's why he wears the aviators. It's this kind of like he goes for the like
Top Gun.
Yeah, the Top Gun look. He still
Maverick.
tries. And listen, I will say one thing, and even Roger Stone said this. He dresses impeccably. Like he's got stuff that fits him well. He's got a nice smile when he does smile and doesn't look like a decrepit old man. It's just the problem is that you can't have that look and also be a geriatric vegetable. Like,
I think that's the Kennedy style, like, because he comes from that sort of era. He's just sort of emulating that same kind of politician vibe where they were all like properly dressed when they were on, camera, and they were used to being on camera. He's definitely used to being filmed. Like, you can tell the guy's been in politics for 40 plus years. But the dude is just a zombie. Like, when I watch these clips, like my dad is like a middle of the road person, right? He's, he votes now more libertarian, but when I was growing up, the guy was always typically like a Democrat voter or a Republican voter or an independent voter. He was kind of all over the place. He listens to Biden and he's like, this guy is like brain dead. Like,
it's my liberal friends. Like, also, hi Nick. I'm not putting the bass down. I
haven't seen Nick in a while.
I have very liberal friends because I come from a blue Jewish town, but even then they're like
Israel?
No, seriously, it's great, but they would be like, yeah, Joe Biden. I see him say all this stupid shit. Like, I'll get my liberal friends send me the memes where it's like America can be defined in a single word, as if it's like, and then it's like,
right. What's interesting about the fight stuff is if he was a guy that had ever interacted with anybody other than he's a famous person, so he gets away with this tough guy thing because the way he acts, he's got Secret Service now. He probably always had bodyguards with him. Someone would have punched his lights out a long time ago. And, a lot of these politicians that should have happened at some point or another. But look, then you got RFK Jr. out there flexing on people. Did you guys see that he met with Oliver Anthony?
I saw the Instagram post. You go ahead. Sorry.
It said RFK met with Oliver Anthony.
He had a picture with he and his wife.
See, the problem is that RFK's got the look. He's got the bench pressing shirtless. He's got that stuff. And his voice sounds like fucking garbage. Like, I can't stand to listen to his voice for more than about 12 seconds before I just want to shut up. I don't care. He could take a picture with like naked Tulsi Gabbard. And if it was an interview or I had to listen to it, I would just turn it off immediately.
What if his singing voice was perfect? What would you say then?
You
know how
he talked like shit, but then when he sang, it was perfect.
yeah. That's it. When someone has like an English accent and then they sing, and you're like, oh well, they sing like an American.
Just breaks
type of...
into a solid blues riff in the.
Yeah. it's just buttery smooth, and you're like, well, what happened? Interesting stuff. Michael Malice, who people can like or dislike Malice, but he went kind of deep on RFK Jr. this last week.
He was deep on a lot of people,
right? And Blair, and he basically was calling out a bunch of his bullshit. And I tweeted at him, I'm like, have you heard about his Hugo Chavez stuff? He's like, no. So I sent him the document, basically the links for it, and then he went down a rabbit hole with that one. Much like Dave Smith and Horton, he didn't give me credit, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
What was that about?
I have a sort of similar take to what I saw a couple people in like Sargon's camp talking about with the whole Oliver Anthony thing, which is that I actually think the song and most of what he's done is kind of virtually useless for like the same reason they do, which is that that song is sort of popular with everyone, and that sort of actually makes it a bad thing culturally, because then nobody sort of does anything with it. It just sort of becomes popular and into the mainstream. And so I think that's what you're going to see there. And I think that's kind of what he is wanting out of it. And so you end up with that as a result, which is at the end of the day, not really doing anything culturally.
I don't care what my musicians want or not want.
I
If
agree.
I like the song, I will enjoy it.
I was just gonna say that this is I like, here's the thing, right? Because of David, I have grown to really start enjoying Pink Floyd. And Roger Waters, he's great on war stuff, but he's an out and out socialist. Like, he's very left.
Sure.
I don't give a shit, and I don't think anyone else. I listen to music. I most of the bands that I love most of them would hate my politics. I don't care, and I think that when I saw all the stuff about this song, people were all like, is he our guy? He's not our guy. I just don't care. If it's a good song or not, that's what I care about. If you want to write political music, don't make it obvious. If you want, and
I agree with you there.
Like, here's one thing, like,
by the way, I want to chime in here. One, it's good to see Nick chiming in here. Good to see you, buddy. If you're saying 7-year-olds and 20-something bodies, I don't know. I want to be a 20-something body.
Yeah.
Is he mocking you for your music or me? Perhaps.
Maybe. But here.
And all I'll say about that is, if you go back and listen to my stuff about Top Lobster, I like ridiculous music that it's horrible that no one should like, but it's personal to me. You talked about groups selling out. Like, I'm a big fan of The Cure, but their song Friday was a complete sellout. But that's fine. Sometimes you need to pay the bills, and so groups are, whatever. Music is so personal that I don't care if you like it and you think I should. The only one you should hate is Eminem. Okay, now go ahead.
I was just going to finish before it getting late, and I know you got something to say, but yes, Refuge is a great song. Stephen Wilson's Refuge, excellent song. But
have you heard of the AC/DC? They're love you, Nick.
But
go ahead.
I think that there are some people that can be kind of hidden with some of their political messaging, and you can kind of get it when you listen to them. Or there are people that are more right wing. They just keep a low profile. The music industry is unbelievably left wing. You can't go out there anymore and be anywhere outside of that and be outspoken unless you're cushy. Like, Phil Labonte can do that because he's made his millions and has a cushy job being the token libertarian on Tim Pool, which that's a whole other topic. But
isn't that the guy who is into gay porn or whatever?
I'm pretty sure he's horny as a motherfucker, man. He's also like 5'5".
Oh yeah, straight to prison.
Yeah. So, but no, Leighton, what were you gonna say?
Straight to jail. So I have like my most recents on my music app are Chris Webby, Waylon Jennings, Run the Jewels, Ghost, Kids See Ghost, The Mamas and the Papas, David Kincaid, Suicide Boys, David Allen Coe, Old Dirty Bastard, and Cody Canada. It is a weird mix.
I've never heard of any of those people.
I've got
You're a liar.
my on repeat is something else, man. It's just like it. I listen to a lot of. I mean, it's a lot of Porcupine Tree, a lot of Rush, and a lot of a lot of Porcupine Tree, Rush, and Pink Floyd right now.
I grew up listening to my dad playing music when I was a kid, so he was like in charge of playing music when we went on a lot of long trips because we drove doing sporting goods shit. Buying and selling sporting goods, and so we were in the car all the time. So I grew up listening to just all the like 70s 60s stuff he liked. So like Dr. Hook is like one of my favorite bands. Like I love listening to that stuff. I'll just put that on in the background all the time.
I'm just gonna update some of the minders in here, and Nick had asked this once again. We're also live on Spaces. There's only Andy and I in there right now, but that's where Andy is talking because he's at work. So David, I'm not a big fan of Animals, but I know you think it's the greatest one, and I'm not gonna play this.
No,
I'm not gonna play this game. My favorite book of the Bible, David. I'm not gonna pull it, and it's not gonna do it.
No, it's more because me and
Pink Floyd sucks. That's all you need to know.
me and David have a debate on Animals. It's not either of our favorite albums. I think both of ours are Wish You Were Here, but we have a debate because I think
Wish You Were Here is great.
I think the best song on Animals is Dogs, and he thinks it's Pigs, 3 different ones. And we've gotten various things. You know, certain people have said, Drew said it was Pigs. Someone else said it was Dogs. We've got several different people. One band that's
Sid Barrett still alive?
No,
Yeah.
he died.
It's all fake. Sid Barrett totally. He's Mensa. He's perfectly fine. He never went.
He's got
crazy.
a skyrocketing
Wish
IQ.
You Were Here was his wife because he cheated. Anyway, go ahead.
Have you listened to much Jethro Tull, Titus?
Yes.
I don't like Jethro Tull. David wants to listen to more Jethro Tull.
So I love Jethro Tull. Ian Anderson did that music's like, again, I grew up listening to it still to this day, like every album I like. Song from the Woods is like my favorite, probably one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. I think it's fucking awesome. But his music, like if you like Pink Floyd, a lot of the rockier songs that Jethro Tull does is comparable to me in the way that they sound, the way that they sort of go up and down the kind of melodics.
Here's a question for you guys. Do
Yeah.
any of you like actually, decent music, or is it all trash?
No. What do you talk about? What's decent music to you? A lot of Lil something that Pitbull this.
No,
I
Andy's
talked to Pitbull earlier.
he's got a super.
I love stupid music, and like I said, there's a bunch of the '80s like new wave stuff. All I love, but I'm also a big fan of Muse, Pink Floyd. So sue me, Andy.
Tyler,
Little River Band out of Australia, fantastic.
Do you like Susie and the Banshees, Tyler?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been very into their album Juju. Just kind of putting that on repeat.
Let's talk about the best sex scandal of a band. Do you know of any good ones?
Oh yeah, actually, there's a. I mean, if you.
Didn't David Bowie have sex with, children?
Drake and the hot sauce condom.
Or here's actually one that's kind of I mean, if you look into Fleetwood Mac during when they were making Rumors, that was a whole sex scandal in and of itself because they were all like in relationships with each. Yeah, that's why there's a kind of a don't fish off the company dock. Do not form relationships with bandmates. Oh yeah, this is a new take from David. This is a new Annals' last Pink Floyd album. The Wall and Final Cut were Roger Waters' albums. Last 2 are David Gilmour ones. I disagree with The Wall because Comfortably Numb is a Gilmour song through and through.
I don't know.
So
it doesn't matter.
The Wall
It's
is
like,
probably my dad's favorite Pink Floyd, but he
like-
was never that big of a Pink
it's
Floyd.
like Van
person.
Halen though, which is you've got your.
Someone just texted me and told me to ask you guys if you like pussy. That was a request from, I believe, Adam. And North Dakota.
Good point. You got these young bucks on here. Let's talk about something else.
I got into typo negative to get pussy.
Oh wow. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Lauren Boebert in the theater. Let's get right to the chase. One, Leighton, what's your best take on this? And then we'll go to Lorenzo.
Oh, so I actually think I have a pretty, a general take on it. I think she broke up with her husband. They're separated. She got on Tinder. She found somebody she wanted to throw some ass at. She went out on a date with that person expecting to probably hook up with them that night because that's what she was probably looking for. She got it. She didn't care about what their background was. So everybody going on about how, whoa, you didn't know this guy ran a bar that had a drag show. It's like, yeah, because she was on Tinder and probably went, wee, dick, and then went and met with the guy. She wasn't looking at his background, which is stupid on her part, but it is what it is. She should take flack for this. Like, she fucked up. This is the kind of shit as a politician you should probably be looking out for. You should assume if you're in a movie theater that is technically public that you're being filmed because you're a fucking politician, and you should assume there's a Fed in your ass, under your bed, and literally next to you everywhere you're at. So I don't like the idea that you're not going to be filmed in public. I think her reaction after the fact is actually about as good as she could do. There's not really a good way for her to back out of this situation because it's all public. Like, she kind of fucked herself.
Hey.
But I think it's
So is that a no on the
hilarious.
pussy question?
I love it. Just last night, I loved it.
I'm a big fan of pussy, but I do want to say I really like, outside of it being funny, and yeah, like if I was the other guy in that theater, I wouldn't complain. There's a few things. One, I don't care. I think that this whole concept of decorum is same thing with the Fetterman dress code. Like, all the concept of decorum, like, we know these people are blood-sucking monsters. Why are we so worried about how they appear? If Lauren Boebert went into the Senate,
Would you suck some blood from Boebert?
Ooh, yeah, 100%. Like that
in a second.
Yeah.
So here's sorry. Continue, so, and then I really need to get to the official announcement, which is me telling my side of the story.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't want to rush, but like the biggest problem is, number one, you should be aware that you're being filmed in a theater, but you should also be completely aware that if you're in a public theater, there is at least a few people stroking each other off in that theater. That's just especially like if you're in like the middle rows, you'd be fine. But if you're like, oh, I just take a back row seat, everyone around you is getting it on. And to act like politicians are different because some bullshit reason is stupid. So
yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. Matter of fact, I don't know if you guys understand this.
Yeah.
I saw this and died. I love Beetlejuice so much.
Okay,
dude.
so Beetlejuice
hanging around.
Oh, it was my only meme I've ever made. It's Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show. It said, "Seeing this makes you do this," and she's tugging the guy. So her husband came out with a statement. I don't know if you guys read that.
That was the most cooked shit I've ever seen.
No, so here's my thinking, which is when this all went down, everyone assumed that she's banging someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I think the reality is she wasn't cheating on her husband, and he's been the dog. She's out there getting publicity or notoriety. He felt a little, whatever by it. So he's getting pussy. That's what broke them up. She's a grandma, literally a grandmother. And she hadn't, and by the way, I'm not a big fan of hers. This is my way I feel about it.
Would you smash?
Well, I'm married, but if that was, if I wasn't, yes, of course. So she hasn't been dating in years, right? So this is new. Tinder, someone hooked her up. Doesn't matter. It's a reputable guy. He has a bar. Big deal. You don't really care about the political association. You're going to go do a little rub and tug.
Have you seen her Israel actress profile before she became a?
No, but now I'm interested.
Damn it.
I heard about this.
This.
I heard about this on TLE, and I got to really go deep into it.
I may be wrong. This is my theory. So she's out there. She hasn't dated for a long time. She gets this guy. It's exciting. Someone's showing you attention that your husband hasn't been showing you. And then you're doing this. Would I do this in a dark theater? Absolutely. So it's a little odd. I think the biggest problem I have with it is after the fact, she was on some just cucked news show, probably like AON or whatever those, Newsmax, maybe one of those. And the guy is just like, this is a setup. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, no, she was doing what she was doing. Stop acting like that. She wanted her titties rubbed.
You've met a woman, right?
I've what?
They don't go with. You've met a woman, correct? You know a woman.
It's been a while.
You've met a woman before.
Yes.
Yeah, you know that they don't stay single very long, correct?
They don't what?
They don't stay
single very long, do they?
No, but what's your point? Unless they could. What's this have to do with anything?
You're saying she's her first time dating in years, and I think it's bullshit. She was getting plowed down for a long time, and she just, got caught with
by the way, we'll listen to your take in a little bit. Mine is this hadn't been happening. She's a little new to the whole thing, or she's a little new to not having to be discreet. Okay. That's a different thing. She's been cheating on her husband, but she's had to do it discreetly, where now she's divorcing and she can go out there and do this. This is all new. It doesn't matter. It doesn't excuse it. I'm more disappointed in the fact that when she was done, she didn't say like, hey, the worst thing about this guy? My nipples got a little sore. Did you see how he was jabbing at him? Like he was a newfound kid in a candy
it was
store.
not very gentle.
It was odd.
Yeah, that was very
The reason I was
undignified.
jabbing at his crotch was I couldn't find it. Maybe some things like that. Let's go. Andy, if you can talk, why don't you tell us your version of the story?
Who are we talking about again?
Lauren Boebert.
Are you taking a shit right now?
No, I'm about to leave work. I just unloaded a bunch of liquor.
Jesus Christ.
And I turned in my paperwork, and I'm parking the truck.
By the way, Adam's in here. I appreciate that. Adam, let's go, Tyler. I don't know what that refers to, but I'm assuming you're on my side. Okay, that's all I want to go. Heavies, yes.
I mean, Boebert is a thought. We all know she's a thought.
Agreed.
She's trying to get a little play in the theater, whatever. I don't know what the big deal is.
Would you go to Beetlejuice?
It's coming to Alaska, actually.
Would you go to the musical called Beetlejuice?
Yes, actually, I would.
Okay, you're and you think I'm gay? Okay.
Wait, and you got to get yourself some action.
I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I'm trying to grow up some big old fucking congresswoman titties. The fuck? Where else am I supposed to go?
By the way, I've been to some ridiculous concerts, musicals, restaurants, friends' houses, people I hate, simply for the tail. Yeah.
Don't be telling on yourself too much now.
I'm just glad I'm married. Okay, Leighton, did you have any more comments about that one? There was another scandal. It seemed like they hit at the same time.
Russell Brand.
His sex scandal. Right. So,
yeah, so they basically got him on relations with somebody who was 16, but technically that was legal at the time in the UK where he was at. They got him on this is Lewis. I'm just in my head. I just pictured Lewis going real ass dude.
Right. Wait, David Brady said he doesn't know who Russell Brand is. The fact that you spelled it correctly makes me think you do. Keep going.
Liar. Yeah, it was that. So the thing with the 16-year-old, and then the main thing everybody kept saying is, well, he graped this chick, and it was like this big thing that they were saying that happened. But when
what's a grape?
Squeezed her until she was
I was trying to say that for YouTube. I didn't know whether you wanted it censored because. All right. So then that whole case, when you look at it, and you actually look at all the evidence that was put out there, there was this text message that looks highly doctored, that does not look legitimate, that's got like the name redacted and certain things in it, where the girl basically says that what people are saying is rape is that he removed the condom, which is technically legally, yes, rape, but it's not the same thing. It just from what the media is reporting. From a legal position, I think it is.
What's interesting is I didn't think someone's like, oh, it's a crime, and then someone informed me that actually in California it is a crime, but it's more like assault, right? Because I mean,
right, yeah,
forcible sex without the consent is not what.
What's Leighton's technique for putting on a condom?
Might I'll let him answer that in a second. You can think about it.
I was unaware there were multiple techniques.
I was gonna say he's been out of
I
practice
don't
for a
know
while.
what that means about myself, but take with that what you will.
Here's Andy's technique for putting on a condom. He goes, "Yes, sir. Please put that on." Okay. In California, it's actually legal right now. It's actually legal. This this Wiener guy, that's a congressman here. That's a gay guy from San Francisco. He actually helped pass this bill that you no longer have to disclose if you have AIDS or a communicable disease before having sex or after the fact. So that to me seems worse than taking off the condom.
Yeah, I saw that. It's funny because I had to bring up Scott Wiener because I think Andy ended up hopping in. There was some chick that was calling everyone in the Libertarian Party Nazis and all that stuff.
As a matter of fact.
Well, yeah, that's the problem is that when you come in, then I'm like, all this arguing I've done to kind of, then it's like, now we've got Andy. No, so like, she was doing something and I just was like,
wish I could
mute him. Yeah, like I was debating and she was like free speech.
Where were you
is
debating
violence.
this at?
Twitter. This was on Twitter.
Just on the timeline?
This was just on the timeline because she was being a bitch and eventually it got to the point where I insulted her looks and all that stuff because that's where you go. She was ugly as sin. She was talking about her trauma, about how she had been assaulted in the past, and part of my brain was like, really? With that look? Really? But she eventually I lost my train of thought as to where I was going with that. But
she conceded to the fact that yes, I am indeed the king of the Libertarian Party and the most racist
I am
man
top
alive.
Jew. I am the Jew now.
It was just a good example of to avoid women and go into like accusations of assault and abuse. Just ignore it. STDs, ignore it. Condoms, ignore it. I can't remember what I was
surprised no one brought up.
Don't listen to any of the last three things he said.
No. I was going with Scott Wiener. Wait, I was going with Scott Wiener. That's what I was. So she was going and saying that there was this one libertarian guy in like 2014 that wanted to like kind of loosen up the Romeo and Juliet law type stuff. Right now, that's a very touchy gray area subject. And I will not at all touch it right now because that's a bigger third rail than talking about
I
the
can
Jews.
touch on it real quick. If you want to fuck kids,
And let's
you
address
gotta be
that side of
hung
their
in the street.
Sorry,
I'll put that out there.
But here's the problem.
That's my libertarian anarcho-capitalist position. My anarcho-capitalist position
is
is
Scott Ritter.
Good. I made the videos trashing that dude. I was the one who edited.
So here's the thing, and this is where it gets into gray area with me is people that start dating in high school and then get out of it, and then there's age gaps that are weird.
But no one actually thinks they're talking about that.
Exactly.
No libertarian who takes that opinion on the public stage thinks that's what they're talking about, and if they do, they've been lied to or they're lying to themselves.
Well, and here's the thing. This is why you don't bring it up. Because we could sit here and have a discussion about it, but that would be career death. That would be like that would be like social suicide. So let's not do that.
Agreed.
But
and that's why I think I'm not a fan of all these rules and laws and everything, but I think that's why each state needs to create an age. You're gonna have to say a cutoff at some point.
Yeah,
and then you just say it, and then you can have these Romeo and Juliet where there's like some gray area between the field goals, and then outside that you're just kind of like, well, I'm sorry, you're kind of creepy, and maybe you do need to check ID.
Yeah, and the other thing, and I was bringing it up because she was saying like libertarians don't believe in an age of consent, and she was saying and pointed at her stuff and was
libertarian parents do.
Well, yeah.
Anybody who thinks that libertarians don't believe in an age of consent should poll libertarians, because I have a feeling at least 80% of them would say if you screw a kid, you should
let's
get
do this.
hung up.
Let's move away from the age of consent.
Well, yeah, I want
to talk more about the actual rape allegations or the girls not doing anything about it at the time, contemporaneous.
Sure. I was the ending of that was just going to be that I brought up Scott Wiener and I was like, you've got your own set of pedos. But with the Russell Brand stuff, I don't really. I've seen bits and pieces there. I think what YouTube did was fucked. I think what
YouTube did is so fucked.
Yeah. What the PM in Britain tried to do with Rumble is also fucked. I'm willing to believe that Russell Brand. Like, here's the thing. I don't think that Russell Brand himself admitted, and I don't know much about the guy either. I know that he's a kind of a social syndicalist, I think is what he calls himself. He's a very flamboyant British guy, looks gay. I like the long hair, et cetera, et cetera. But he's admitted he was a harlot in the past. And it's like a lot of times when you're into very sexually deviant stuff, you start getting into other heavy duty gray areas when it comes to consent. Now, the problem is that when you're in those circles, pretty much everyone's down for it. But 20 years later, you want to make a buck off this guy, you can play the stuff. I also can believe that Russell Brand did some pretty fucked up stuff.
Yeah, let me just pitch. Look, there's a reason why a lot of people, like Mike Pence, as an example, doesn't have these accusations because he's never in that situation. Now, Russell Brand was in that situation knowingly, willingly, and he was with a lot of trash, and at some point that trash is going to not care to make allegations. Now, I also have problems with these women not doing something about it at the time, and that's almost criminal now that he's famous. You know, he was famous then, so do something. I'm going to play this clip here. This is Hannah Cox, and she's talking about yes, this is one we had in our member section.
Where's your husband, Hannah? There are increasingly vocal groups of men in society who simply hate women. They hate the gains feminism has made. They can't compete with women on an equal playing field, and they seek to diminish the rights of women so that they can feel better about their puny
Down
existence.
syndrome.
You know,
shark.
I know we make jokes and everything, but I honestly don't believe that. There's KKK out there, and there's not. I mean, there could be somewhat. And maybe Andy's like sitting over there going, what Tyler doesn't even know me. But I truly, you have a daughter as an example. You're not trying to at all suppress her. What you're trying to do is have her be this thinking person that respects you, that respects herself. And I think what Hannah's describing here doesn't mix in with that. So she's got to play these weird games. Boogeymen, I think is what she's really making.
I like happy, healthy women who know their role. You know, and just like men should know their role too. I mean,
with that said, if your daughter wants, what is her role?
I mean, she's going to grow up to be a woman. I want her to, make a good wife for somebody someday. I mean, today she wanted to clean her room and make the bed for fun and vacuum. Right. I'm not going to discourage her and be like, oh, put that away because that's some female stereotype. Like, have at it, go have fun. Like, that's what makes her happy. Exactly. And I think Hannah is just slipping this in to just talk shit about men. She's like, there is this group of people that hate men, but I'm not one of those. But they say all these bad things about men, like they suck. And
right. She's not wrong. Sorry.
Hannah Cox is what
these
you
elements
get when
include
you
groups
turn
like incels, components of the
Down
alt-right,
syndrome
and
shark
nationalists,
into a woman.
trads who want to others, the pickup artist community, and the men going their own way movement. And these groups will go so far as to say that rape should be legal. They downplay domestic violence. They harass women online.
I'm sorry. Who is saying rape should be legal?
Gobbledygook.
I am right now.
I know you say that, and it's. But who is literally? A few years ago, there was a guy, a politician, that made some comment kind of like that, and it was a big deal. He gets run out. But no one. I'm sorry. No one says rape should be legal. I don't buy it. Okay, so that's not the clip I really thought I was having. She had one there where she does some statistics about women rape allegations. 10% of them are false allegations. Now, the only way, and by the way, when she's saying that like it's a good thing, like, look, it's hardly anything at all. And she wasn't even, her point was about allegations. When you think about that, and by the way, the statistic came from a point of whether cases that came to fruition, they were ones that weren't found guilty. Therefore, you're assuming that means that they were fake allegations. Well, that's not even the case. So it could be even much more than that. You could be winning a case and it could be a false allegation. But think about that. 10% are false? What kind of demonic women are out there that 10% of them are making false allegations of rape, and that somehow you're not just like, that's like rape and murder are tops of the list. And here we go. So once again, you have this going on. I don't know if these women are truthful or not about Russell Brand, but do something about it at the time or shut the fuck up.
And here's something as well. And this is where, because the thing is that, number one, I have seen someone say not that rape should be legal, but that rape as a concept, like you should be not allowed to. You can't rape your wife. Now this was one of those trad cath types, and we had a debate on the timeline, and it kind of boiled down to him debating semantics and me going, "You're dying on this hill that you don't need to die on." But the point with all that is that. The funniest thing is that it's one of the aspects of progressivism and women's liberation is very kink heavy things. And one of those is free use. Now, someone, and for anyone who doesn't know, that's basically what trads did, what trads want. It's horseshoe theory all over again. And yes, Adam, that's who I was talking about, Jeremy Cubas. Who looks
no, so I had him on my show. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I interviewed him after that happened. So he has a Contra Gentiles as his show.
Yep.
And so Jeremy got canceled and had resigned from his position on Dunleavy's staff over here in Alaska. I think he got another gig pretty much instantly. But I had him on my show to talk about that. And basically, some of that stuff was sort of out of context, but he was talking about it within the Catholic ecosphere. They were discussing Catholicism, and one of the quotes they got him on was he said that rape is or that divorce is worse than rape. And that was one of the quotes that they put everywhere.
He was
but
on the
that's
Whatever
from
show,
a
right?
Catholic point of view. Say again?
Was he on the Whatever show when he said that or something like that?
I think that might have been where he was.
So, but here's the thing. I understand where he comes from. I understand where he comes from with that. I think it's a bad argument because
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I'm not
Lorenzo's voice.
Oh shit. Well, the bigger thing is that one of the more interesting things I saw was that one of the big pushes for feminists in the left is a very kinky, deviant type stuff. And one of those is very consensual, non-consent kind of free use type stuff, which is kind of what the trads have been arguing about. And it's just horseshoe theory. And again, it just shows that once you start dealing with a lot of that deviance, and let me say, if you want to get involved with some kinky shit, that's fine and great. But there's
fellas, I have an announcement to make.
Yeah.
I've clocked out of work, and my boss gave me a bottle of 750 milliliter Jack Daniel's bonded Tennessee whiskey.
Drink it in the car
today. That's my overtime.
So how are we going to benefit from this?
Because I will drink it on the way and talk and shoot shit with you fellas.
All right, so good. We're going to be there for the car wreck and inevitable DUI and death. Sweet.
So this is
breaking news.
Oh,
you need a breaking story from this fucking podcast. Somebody's got to do it.
By the way, let me ask you this. I know this goes to Andy. Andy, or you guys can answer this too. But Andy, there's the trads out there, or the Catholic trads, I would call them, where they have all this, yeah, exactly. What do you think of them and their? Because you're kind of like that mindset. But you're not a Catholic guy. You're not the guy that used to be.
Hold on. What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, you a Catholic?
What's my mindset?
You got a grind set, brother.
Catholic?
Gay.
No, you're a Southern boy, so that's exactly what it is.
There's not many Catholics in the South. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I said mindset. I didn't say you were Catholic. So, what's your take on kind of what's your take on kind of the Cath trad stuff?
It's Tradcath, Tyler.
Sorry, Tradcath.
It's
Tradcath care.
Aren't those the people who are like one race, The Catholic race.
The shot of bad pressure.
Well,
I don't know.
Here's the thing, because I've had to deal with.
I just don't want people tell. No one's going to tell me how to be a man in my house. Not even my wife.
I've been.
Invite me over.
It's funny because I've a few tradcasts follow me, which I think is very funny that I'm a degenerate Yankee drummer that's followed by half neo-Confederates and half like tradcast.
What is a neo-Confederate? What does that even mean?
It's two words you put together. One means new and one means Confederate.
Sorry, true Southern Dixie men.
I don't know. Let me just take a break in here because I just saw in our spaces we had Stephen Fox and Friends, Fox and Sons. Sorry, Fox and Friends. Coffee people. I'm a big matter of fact. Look at this. I have a mug and I have legit Fox and Sons coffee in there right now. I make it every day. Go to foxandsons.com. Use the code review for 15% off orders of $25 or more, and you help support the show. What you really do is you help get coffee to me so I can enjoy it. I keep saying I'm going to send some to Andy, but Andy, you don't seem like you're a big enough coffee drinker for me to send it to you yet.
Send some to me.
Next time what we're going to do is we're going to do a kill pod, and we're going to have a special guest on, and that guest is going to choose the winner, and that winner is going to get some coffee that I get. I will go ahead and forward it over to you if I keep it. The problem is I go through this stuff like coffee. So it's what I drink every day. Leighton or Lorenzo, do you guys drink coffee? And if so, what's your form of doing it? Do you just go to Dunkin' Donuts? Do you get it at AM PM? Do you make it at home?
I make it in a French press.
Okay,
and I drink it black. Also, I got to leave in a few minutes.
Yeah, leave whenever you need to.
So I just I drink it black. I like coffee. I think people coffee. Adam, so true. But yeah, it was a pleasure being on.
Yeah, good rant about who was it? Bill Cosby? Is that
no? Larry Sinclair.
Obama.
Yeah. Gay Obama. Now,
Tyler, is this one of your porno girl followers in Spaces? Is this one of your stalkers?
She dipped out quicker than she probably saw who you were in there, Andy. So yeah, let me ask you guys this, and then you can go whenever you need to, Lorenzo. Yeah. I've been getting a bunch of follows and like active. They're not in my DMs at all, but they're on the timeline of liking, retweeting, and they're porn bot.
I'm getting the same shit.
Elon has made
check out
this
their profile. I go all the way through their
so
timeline.
Many of them are followed by videos. Karen Ann Harlos for some reason, by the
way. I don't think Karen has a filter of, this is a clear porn bot.
This is what Karen, I've seen her do this. She goes, if you follow me, I will follow you back. And she'll do certain days that she does that. So they are like, blah, 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 and then they're on me. And then, like I said, I spend hours making sure that they're legit or not,
STD.
going through all their videos over and over and over.
Tyler's doing deep research.
I get the same shit. And but speaking of which, my Twitter, you can follow it at Prague_enjoyer7. Sorry for plugging that.
First 1 through 6 were already taken. So
no, I just picked a number. But yeah, you can follow me there. I'm an unhinged retard on there. If you want to follow my music stuff, it's Lorenzo_Silvio on Instagram. No politics there, please. That is a strictly music and business account. But yeah, really appreciate hanging with you guys.
Yeah.
It's always great to talk with you, Leighton, Tyler.
Best of luck there in Austin, and don't be shy.
All right. See ya.
Lorenzo, give me a call sometime soon. We'll catch up.
100%. I'll give you a call. I haven't heard back from the EATC people, but I appreciate you setting me up with those guys.
I'll see if I can maybe pull a few strings down there for you if I need to. Just call me.
Wow.
I appreciate it, brother. Have a good one, guys.
See you, man. Andy, here's a hint. Why don't you pull some strings for yourself?
I'm pulling strings. I just got a fucking free bottle of whiskey. Fuck you.
Awesome. Good. Leighton, so let me ask you a question. I've been on your show multiple times, and you've been in like a haze of smoke doing the dabs. I'm not seeing that as much lately. Are you still smoking it up like you want to?
So I took a couple hits on this show, but
okay.
I'm not.
So pay attention.
But no, so what basically, I still smoke, but I've been walking a lot more and just getting outside because it's summer here in Alaska. So I lost a little bit of weight and just been kind of eating less and doing that whole thing.
Okay. Solid.
But I have been smoking in general less because I have a cheaper hookup now. So I just haven't really needed it as much.
Yeah. Did you see when Big J passed out?
Oh, I did see that. That was that. So I have a buddy of mine. I'm not gonna say who he is because he would hate me telling this story. 'Cause it's one of the most embarrassing ones. But have any of you guys have ever heard of salvia?
No.
Okay, so salvia is like this. It's legal everywhere.
Salvia is awesome. It's
Yeah,
also
so
not
you can
legal
go.
everywhere. A few years ago, they made it illegal in a bunch of states, but yes.
Okay, so check wherever you're at, because this is. But technically speaking, so where I'm at, it's legal. You can just go into head shops and buy it. You don't even need an ID and shit. It's like whatever. It's literally just technically sage, but what they do is like they take the extract from the plants and put it back into the leaf, and it's this like really potent version of it, and it's a really strong hallucinogenic thing. So I had a buddy of mine who had one of those big like beaker bongs. I actually don't know how to ride a bike. I never learned when I was a kid.
Whoa. Wait. Whoa. Toad has come out and said he can't ride a bike and won't even try, and now you're telling me you don't ride. You are legitimately on the level of Toad. This is distressing here, Leighton. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I
you know how to swim.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Of course. Wait. So someone threw you in water, but they didn't want to put you on a bike. Was that Andy?
He does the polar plunge. What do you mean?
Yeah.
The polar plunge goes on in my town, by the way. the big one that they film and shit. So basically, when I was a kid, we grew up, everything was gravel roads, and I never really had like a street bike or nothing like that, or like a small bike when I was a kid, so I just never learned. I got a bike once from my grandmother as a gift, and then we stored it on the side of the house one winter, and a piece of ice fell on it and crushed it. And that was the end of that bike.
Clarify. Was that your grandmother's bike, or she gave it to you as a gift?
No, she just bought it. I think she got it from Walmart. I'm assuming.
Because I was like, your grandma rides a bike, yet you can't.
She can ride a bike.
Have you ever tried?
I've attempted it a few times. I've ridden scooters and stuff like that. I've ridden quads and all that kind of shit. So I'm sure
Leighton's like, I could ride I have my own unicycle. I just don't ride a bicycle. Like,
I'm sure I could teach myself to do it and figure it out. I've just never needed to because I walk everywhere.
J4, look, gravel riding bikes right now is a big deal. So the road situation that doesn't matter. That's not it. Matter of fact, the good old days back when the Tour de France was just happening. Over 100 plus years ago, they went over these mountain passes on dirt roads. So that's not an excuse. I don't want to.
With the skinny tire?
Yeah. Adam says he's going to fly to Alaska right now and teach you how to ride a bike. I think that's fine. If you come here, I won't help you, but.
I will learn to ride a bike. It's something I will need to do. I also don't drive, so I mean.
You're following along like the Legion of Skanks guys. I mean, I think Lewis is the only one that's
very toadish.
Yeah,
my whole town is a mile long. So
I don't understand how you don't drive in Alaska. I mean, that's like. It's not like you live in the city.
No, I don't go to the city.
How do you get around? Or you just don't? You said you walk.
I walk.
Okay.
The town's a mile long. I just walk back and forth to all the places.
Do you have a snowmobile at least? What do you do when
We have a couple snow machines. And we've got a quad, and my dad has a bunch of vehicles and stuff. So if I need a ride from somebody, I can get a ride to town. I can do that.
You're riding on the back of the quad.
No, I can drive the quad.
Okay, we're going to answer a few questions here. Minder says, Leighton, do you do dives in Alaska? I don't know what that word is, but it looks like maybe it's spelunking or something. What is that? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is. But it looks like because of the type of umlaut he has, I'm assuring it's a native thing or a Nordic thing. Because
I think it's going down on a native woman. The next one is Jay Fort says, Tyler, I just want to get you guys together to have a drink or shoot some basketball. I'm not giving bike lessons after the training wheels come off. Yeah, I'll play basketball. I'm basically your Al Bundy of basketball, high schools. hero. So
I'm not good at basketball, but I'll play.
Adam says here, not a joke. He's off till the end of the month. So if you want him to fly up there, put you on a bike, do so.
I'm flying down to Florida on the 27th.
So maybe Dickie can help you fly, ride a bike.
I'm going to be visiting Dickie in Pensacola. We're going to do a show, I think. So it'll be fun.
I'm all for that. Andy he knows how to ride a bike. This is the thing. He's all tough on the timeline or in the group chats. He's like, yeah, gay bikes. And then he sends me a message. Hey, I want to, how do you pump up a tire? How do you, how do you take the seat off so it's just the post? These guys.
Fake news. You are fake news. I asked you how to attach a Rambone style armadillo.
No, you didn't.
My my younger brother, he's into like BMX bikes and stuff. So he was always riding that kind of stuff. And he's pretty good. He lost a ton of weight when he was younger doing just riding everywhere he went on a kick scooter or on a BMX bike.
You've decided not to follow in his footsteps.
No. I'll tell you this. What's great about a bike, especially when I was a younger kid, growing up, before I was into bike racing, I liked BMX stuff. And we lived out in the country. You just ride everywhere, and you learn the streets, you learn the area so good. And every time now, when I was moving to different places or riding, you'd get ride my bike around, training and stuff. You just learn the area. Amazing. You learn streets and everything that most people didn't even know about because you're figuring it out on a bike. And it's a great way to get some freedom. And I don't know if kids have that enough. My kids are like the free range style, going out there, get on a bike, now they have cars. All these are things Leighton isn't into: bikes, cars, planes. Do you fly a plane? What's?
My dad was into planes, but I never got into it. Other than simulators and stuff, the gaming shit. But that was just never caught my attention.
Andy, are you there?
I'm here.
What's your favorite celebrity sex scandal?
Besides the Bill Cosby one that I listed earlier?
Yes. Do the next one. Then we'll get out of here.
Well, I'm about to be home. Let's hang out.
Well, it's been an hour 20. My wife's now saying, hey, text me when you're done. Text me when you're done.
Well, that's my favorite celebrity sex scandal is that you're not getting any.
So wait, who's it? Whoa. I can let you just go. So I'm the celebrity or my wife's the celebrity?
Your wife, for sure.
Okay, that's true.
Real Housewives of California.
That's okay. So what's your other scandal?
Let me see. Well, what about, has anybody said Pam and Tommy Lee? That was a great one. For the ages, good white sex scandal.
True, but is it really? I mean, I like the scandals I like are ones that you don't expect. Like this one, Arnold's favorite child being a bastard. He banged.
Oh yeah.
He banged the Mexican housewife. They have like an 18-year-old son. Oh, Consuela. She's like the Consuela from Family Guy or something. That's all I can imagine. So, and she didn't look very hot because she came out with Gloria Allred. And she was doing it, and you're just like, yeah, you look like someone who cleans houses. So,
I'm trying to think of what are some other good ones?
Well, a celebrity, I like politicians. You've got Gary Hart. That was back in the 80s. You have John Edwards. I don't know if you remember that when he was running. He was banging someone while his wife had cancer. That was always fantastic. Obviously Clinton, Governor Sanford. I don't know if you remember this one. Governor Sanford, I think I want to say West Virginia or something like that. He disappeared. All of a sudden he disappeared. And he had a girlfriend and they flew down to South America and he was banging her down there. It was a whole scandal. But at some point they're just like, where did he go? And he just disappeared. So that was a good one too.
Okay, I got one. The former disgraced mayor of Nashville. I was trying to say this earlier, but it kept glitching out when I pulled up to the warehouse.
You're glitching out.
Mayor Megan Barry. I'm glitching out right now.
No, I'm just making a joke.
Fuck. I'm kidding. Mayor Megan Barry. She laundered a bunch of taxpayer money to travel the world while fucking a cop. While she was having an affair on her, I believe, Jewish college professor husband. Her son was overdosing on heroin and died. So, wow. Very great human being, deserves to be alive, all those things. Another Mayor Barry. story.
It's fantastic. What about Tammy Baker? Jim Baker and Tammy Faye Baker. Do you remember that one?
Why does that sound familiar?
He was one of these glorified 1980s pastor. Okay, big,
That's right, televangelist guy.
mega church, and he was banging some hottie on the side. And then have to go on there, and his wife's crying, and she wears so much makeup that it was like Mimi from Drew Carey show. They're just like dripping out. It was just fantastic. So yeah. Okay, that's what I think.
That's a good one. I would like to, one day cement my legacy in this Hall of Shame.
Okay.
And I don't know how I would do it yet. I'll have to ponder on it for a while. Any suggestions?
I don't know, but let me do this here. I'm going to bring this up. I just Googled celebrity sex scandals. We're just going to take a walk through this here. 5 celebrity sex tape scandals. Obviously, Kim Kardashian, Pamela Anderson, Kim Kardashian again, Paris Hilton, Jennifer Lopez, and then it was like Carolyn Murphy. Who? No, I don't want sex tape scandals. There we go. How about this one? It's a slideshow. Okay. Pamela. Oh, Tiger Woods. How can we forget? Tiger
did nothing
from YouTube
wrong
right now for showing porno.
No, I'm not showing porn. It's just slides. Fox News thing, actually. Tiger Woods. How could we forget about Tiger Woods?
Oh, yeah. Tiger Woods is a great celebrity sex scandal.
Right.
One of the all-time greats.
Right.
Not only on the course, but banging whores and making an absolute mess out of himself.
Right. As a matter of fact, when I remember when he won the U.S. Open, I'm trying to remember which year it was, but it was he won it by the biggest margin. And Johnny Miller, the announcer at the time, I remember him making a joke. This guy was a good Mormon, the announcer, and he's like, "Yeah, the only thing that can bring Tiger down is issues with his family." And what he meant by that is you're too focused on your family to play golf. Well, kind of. The family did bring him down, but it was because his wife put a 7-iron over his head, and he was all hopped up on Ambien or something like that. So that was
but he's done it so many times now at this point, but he still maintains some kind of dominance in the sport, which is truly remarkable.
True. I mean, the Tiger Slam when you go to Denny's is what's on the menu there. Not Ron said Tiger Woods was barely a scandal. I guess so. Here we go. Governor Elliot Spitzer resigned in disgrace after getting caught in a call girl scandal that shattered. That was a great one. That was fantastic. I forgot about that. Michelle Bombshell McGee said she had months-long affair with TV personality owner of West Coast Choppers Jesse James, who was married to America's sweetheart Sandra Bullock. I don't know. Was that really one? That's all we have there. Cool. You recognize any of those, Leighton?
Not really. Jesse James and them. I remember seeing that in like magazines and shit, but I never really cared about like those kind of celebrities.
Yeah.
Tyler, if you were embroiled in a sex scandal, how would you like for it to go down?
I don't want to be embroiled. On TV, I don't know. Some way that I could capitalize. There were times where before I met my wife that I was a piece of trash, and there were maybe some scandals. We weren't celebrities, and you gotta like lie to this one. You got to do this to this one, and then you're upset, and it's not a fun situation to be in. So I'm glad I've grown out of that, and I've seen my error in my ways. Oh,
not Ron in the chat. Richard Gere.
Yeah, I know. That's the famous gerbil one. I think that might be a myth.
Which is horseshit, yeah.
Yeah, but
we
everybody
all heard
knows
the one
about
about, chicks having to get their stomachs pumped and stuff, or Elton John. The urban legend.
I didn't hear Elton John. I heard all the girl what's his name? Rod Stewart. I'd always heard Rod Stewart had to get his stomach pumped because it was full of cum. But I think he was a ladies' man. So
there was the Manson removing 2 of his ribs so he could suck his own dick.
Yeah,
which was also horseshit because he's come out and said, like, I mean, I don't know how people bought that one, but I guess it just sort of fit into his motif, so it just sort of ran.
What about Pee Wee Herman?
That's an interesting one because everybody defends this guy on Twitter. So let me explain. So they went to his house as part of that and raided him, and there was material that was listed as being child porn, like related to that. And so everybody defends the guy, but when you look into the actual case, he had some weird shit that is definitely kind of like Hollywood weird-esque shit. That I might be wrong here, but I don't necessarily know that guy was like clean.
I'm not even necessarily talking about that. I was more about the self R, if you can't say it on, where he is jerking off in a movie theater. I mean that's legit.
Oh,
that's legit what happened. So there could be the other part, but I'm like, hey, he just took the Lauren Boebert thing and just said, you know what, this lady's trouble. I'm not going to go there with her. I'm just going to do this myself. So
he got screwed over in that case at large just because, like, I don't think anybody thinks people aren't going to literal porn theaters to jack off. Like,
was it a legitimate porn theater or was it?
Oh, it was. Yeah,
okay.
no.
Well, that's
from
a little
my
different.
understanding. It was like an actual, like, one of those New York style like booth theaters, basically, but like open.
What about Hugh Grant and Divine Brown? Anybody remember this one?
He got caught banging tranny prostitute, right?
No, she wasn't a tranny. She was a black prostitute.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Eddie Murphy or one of the that's what I did.
A good point on Eddie Murphy. So Hugh Grant. So he's married to I mean, at the time he's dating the hottest woman in the world, right? I mean, what's her name? She was on
oh fuck, I'm trying to think of it now and I can't remember it.
Let me see if I can.
Tyler.
Huh?
I'm at home. I'm home. I got to sign off of here. Thanks for letting me be a piece of shit and schedule it and not show.
Whatever. Austin Powers. She was in Austin Powers. She was the main whatever. There's the
I know who you're talking
British lady.
about.
Liz Hurley. Thank you, Adam.
That's it.
She was pretty hot. Now he was with her, but he ends up getting Divine Brown, who's this black prostitute, slobbing his knob, and he gets caught. And now the Eddie Murphy thing is he was living here in Sacramento at the time, and he picked up this tranny, and then things didn't. I don't know. There's some confusion, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know she was a tranny." Well, I think you were trying to pick up a prostitute. So there's some good stuff there. So who knows?
Follow me at freesandusky.org and freeronjeremy.gov, and I'll catch y'all later.
Bye. Are you going to join us on the screen or not?
You want me to? I will, if y'all are going to keep going.
I'll go for another. You come on, and then we'll sign off.
What the hell? All right, I'll come on.
All right, we'll see if we can do it. Let me see if I could. I'm going through this thing here. It popped these up. So, I should just bring this back on the screen because there's some. Dustin Diamond, is that his name? Screech.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had something where he was jizzing on himself, taking that on there. Colin Farrell, that one doesn't. Oh yeah, well obviously Donald Trump. In an interview with Sean Hannity, Miss USA Carrie Prejean said the sex tape she made with her ex-boyfriend was the biggest thing. I was sending out with my brother. Okay, what's that have to do with Donald Trump? That's just a picture of her. That's just their way. Britney Spears, don't really care about him. Okay, there you go. That wasn't worth bringing it up on the screen at all. There's been some good ones. Anyone in the libertarian? Should we talk about our friend Tom Woods and his sex scandal?
Oh God.
I don't think we're gonna go there. That seems to be
Martha Bueno.
Martha. I don't know. Look, I saw her. Did you watch her on Timcast at all?
No. No, I did. I watched part of it. I don't know. It was like pretty middling. Some of it was okay.
Okay. Well, I didn't think she was very interesting at all there.
No, it's boring. That's what I mean by middling. It's like
Okay.
it's just sort of like Tim Pool has some guests on where I'm like, I'm interested in what this person has to say. She was just not one of them, so I'm just like trying to get news stuff at the beginning of the show, and then
she bored me, and she was trying to be serious. Michael XX, whatever tranny's name, it's Blair White, just so you know. So Martha, and so she said on when she was on Timcast that she went on, she had an OnlyFans. She has to make she's such an attention whore. She only says that because she's like, and I'm the only politician that did their campaign on OnlyFans, but you didn't do an OnlyFans thing. It's not quite the same thing. Tom Woods had a sex scandal. Let's go. Yes, but I'm not going to break that down.
I still
Offline,
say
Adam.
to this day that I'm like one of the 5 people, but I was the driving person to cause her to leave the Libertarian Party because I edited the 2 clips of the podcast that pissed her off and put it on Twitter. And those clips got, one of them ended up with like 21,000 views by the time, because she quote tweeted it and
Yeah, she was. By the way, I'll just say about Tom Woods thing, I'm making a joke because I think it's not a scandal. He's married, it's his ex-wife. They had 5 kids. There's a thing about, did he marry her or did they too soon? I'm like, you think Tom, I would imagine, good Catholic boy, he didn't, they went into this marriage pure. Okay. So she's 19. I don't care if he groomed or what are you saying? It's stupid. They had 5 kids. Complain about it to someone else. It's someone that wanted to make a big deal about it. So it's nothing there.
Yeah. The whole thing was dumb.
Yeah. Dumb. Anything else, Leighton, before we head out here?
Not really.
Okay. How's your show going and anything new coming up there?
So I've got a bunch of stuff. I've got like 3 or 4 scripts that I have to sort of turn into footage and edit.
Let me ask you this real quick. Are you kind of changing your format? Are you doing more like long-term stuff? Or are you still doing a lot of your interviews? Like,
so
what's your plan?
I'm gonna keep the interviews going, the one-on-one interviews, for Outlawed Thoughts the show, and then I'm gonna be continuing to do sort of what I'm gonna call the kind of political cold case series, where it goes over sort of cases that are in the mystery realm that have maybe a political connection here or there, that can be kind of worked into the story, because I think it's an interesting way to look at some of them. And then just looking at sort of almost the true crime elements that people don't cover. Like I have a Project 112 video I'm going to be doing, which was the project they did up here in Alaska where they were testing nukes, some of the largest testing sites they did. And some of the downside of that and what it caused and some of that stuff. I've got a video about Christian Snyder, who is a girl who went missing and then was reported as a suicide, who's connected to like the Nexium cult, which existed up here in Alaska. At one point, they started in part here in the state. So there's a bunch of stuff like that. And then continuing the Joe Vogler thing. I'm going to be trying to put together a book. And
who? What? What's that?
I'm gonna be hopefully working through this book that I want to write about that, and then I'm gonna be taking a trip to Fairbanks to meet with some of the people who were around him when he was actually around and interviewing people to do sort of an actual documentary that's more like a theatrical thing.
Andy, I'm very curious. You popped in and added yourself to the screen. How were you able to add yourself to the screen?
I don't know. You gave me host privileges, I guess.
Oh, did you finally log in that way?
I guess so. Maybe.
Look at you, garbage man. Way to go.
See, look, we got to hang out for a while. The crowd is going wild. Everybody wants me to be here. They've been bored to death waiting for me to get here.
Right.
Wow. Fuck you.
Yeah. It was funny because different people would pop in and they would hear your voice and it totally fucked them up. It was like, hey, I'm a ventriloquist of some sort. Is that what you wore to work?
No, I took my work shirt off because I did not want to doctor.
So that's fine, but so that's what you decided to put on, or that was under your work shirt.
This was right there, ready and waiting.
And that's what you chose?
Why wouldn't I?
Just kidding.
Future Hall of Fame running back?
Yeah, I guess so.
You're in where are you at anyway? Like state-wise? You're over in I want to say South Carolina, but I might be wrong. Where are you at?
Go north, Kansas City.
I'm in Alaska.
Oh, okay.
He's in Tennessee. He's in Nashville.
All right, so what I got from work today for pulling overtime.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I've never had this before. Jack Daniels bonded.
That's the good shit. That's like what you buy if you've got money and you want Jack Daniels.
Hey Andy, do you use Nair on your legs? Those are some short shorts.
I'm wearing shorts. I'm
wearing shorts
Andy
too. I'm just not not showing my cack like that.
You want to see it? I'll show it. We can get this YouTube nuked real quick.
They don't care about us.
They need an electron microscope to find it anyways.
So can you just cannonball that? Just take it to...
Smells good on the nose.
Okay.
It's 50% alcohol, 100 proof. So let's go.
How is it? I like it. I've had it before. So.
Woo!
The screen froze with you.
The front end, it's a little hot on the back end, but no, that's pretty good. And I don't really like Jack Daniels a whole lot, but yeah.
No, I'm not a big Jack Daniels drinker, and so I had some of that specific one because a buddy of mine had it. It was good. I liked it. So
yeah, Adam, I'm not making fun of the working guy. I'm making fun of Andy.
The working man. Look, it's all right. I'm starting a bar here in my boot fucking depository. I can turn the screen. How do I turn the screen around? Oh, I can't. I don't know if you can see this.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. My brother's got one like that at his place, so I go over there to snag whiskeys when I need something.
There's some good stuff in here. Some stuff I hadn't even tried. But this Jack Daniels is pretty good. I'll hit this again.
I had to order a flask that was under 3.5 ounces so I could use it for TSA because I wanted good whiskey. So I'm like,
what are you doing, dude? You just drink at the airport.
So no, you pay so much for fucking drinks at the airport. I'm a Jew. I'll get a water bottle, empty it, take it through the TSA with my fucking 3-ounce shot pour of really good whiskey.
He's like a housewife, Andy.
I get through the TSA, get ice from McDonald's, mix it with whatever I want, and then put my whiskey in the water bottle.
You're supposed to drink at the airport because if you're at the airport bar, you never know who you may run into.
Well, I'll go to the airport bar still and have a beer, but I'm just not going to pay fucking $40 for whiskey.
All right, there you go. I think, Andy, anything else before we head out? I appreciate you joining us, but my back's killing me. I got to get out of here. I can't sit here any longer.
Got a hot date tomorrow. I hope she's
sweet.
And I'm gonna,
what's his name?
Daryl Perry.
Okay, well, wear your kilt because he likes that. Oh, okay. Leighton, that is a lot of exposition to say. Just say you're a Jew. Okay. I don't know what just happened to Andy, but he's
dead.
He's taken off. So, okay, Leighton, I appreciate you coming on, hanging out with me the whole night. And we had Lorenzo in here for a bit too. Kind of filling the void for Andy because he was kind of a shitty host here. What's coming up next? I know we've talked a bit about your show, and I've pushed this a few times. But what's the next thing you're doing? And then we'll go to Andy.
So the next things that'll be coming out is going to be I have another interview that I'm putting together with an interesting guest, Yoshi Obayashi, interesting person. And then I'm going to be doing over in Florida. I'm going to be recording some video ideas that all have to do with history and stuff like that I'll edit when I come back. But just expect to see my normal shows starting back up, sort of weekly, twice a week. and then more videos to be coming out, more of the essay style edited stuff, documentaries, mini documentaries.
Will you be doing non-Alaska related videos?
Say that one more time.
Will you be doing any non-Alaska related videos? Are they all Alaska?
No, so I'm working on some of the stuff that I'm going to be working on real soon is going to be Florida related, and then I've got sort of setting up some kind of email list where people can submit sort of local mysteries or local topics that are maybe not talked about on a wide scale on YouTube, because I find that with the YouTube sort of that style of video, which I really like I watch like Mr. Ballin and Windigoon and all these kind of channels, but a lot of those stories are recycled because everybody is sort of grabbing from the same stuff. So I want to change that up and kind of have more of the ability for people to sort of submit things that are maybe not as big.
I've got two local mysteries. One, how does Toad have that many followers? And two, how come he's not getting any pussy? The mysteries. I don't know that you can solve those. Those are like flat Earth. A quick question here as well. Flat Earthers, they say space is fake, right? So they do not. You can't be flat Earther. I'm just my peripheral understanding. You can't be flat Earther and believe in aliens, right?
So what do they
well,
think they're...
what is an alien? Is an alien from another dimension, another universe, or is it from another planet?
Well, if I mean, is there other universes?
Well, that would be I mean, that's the question.
So no. If you're flat Earth, are there other universes?
I feel like you can be flat Earth and also believe in multiple universes.
I believe the flat Earthers think that. But I don't think that's a possible resolution that comes to.
You're 100% right.
Okay, see, the mind just said flat earthers generally do not believe in aliens. This is where Top Lobster loses all his credibility. Case over. Okay, Andy, what do you have to say before we head
out? Who is Top Lobster? Number one. I would never hang out with anybody who calls himself that. Sounds gay, and. Yeah, cheers, boys. Thank you. Thanks again, Tyler, for letting me fuck up this whole show. And
I'm glad we were able to be a part of it with your work. Enjoy your drink there. I had a 9%. What is this actually? 9.4 alcohol volume today. Just a little bit of thing, and a large mug of Fox and Sons coffee, ground and specially made just for me.
Go great with Fox and Sons coffee, Jack Daniel's Tennessee Bond.
Probably so. So, gentlemen, love that you came out here. I'm glad that everyone else joined us here tonight. You know, we just mix it up. Andy, I'm really glad. One of these times we're going to get a show together. And Leighton, once again, appreciate you being part of this show.
Always fun.
Everyone else, have a great weekend. See ya.
Okay, I'm leaving now. Bye, guys.
But she's back.
And now.
Chick-fil-A is completely overrated. It's not that good. I prefer Zaxby's. I prefer Popeyes.
Takes a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick. I guess that's me. Keep fucking that chicken.
Should I vote for Dick Cheney on the Libertarian Party? Do I have an obligation to vote for Dick Cheney?
I would say so.
Yes.
Did it work for those people?
No, it never does. I mean, these people somehow delude themselves into thinking it might, but it might work for us.
That one dude was like, not a podcast, I can't find it anywhere, and they don't have video.
Oh, yeah, Peter Janke, yeah.
Yeah, I blocked him.
I'll do it. If he unblocks me, I'll...
He'll buy your shirt if you unblock him, Bert.
He's a wigger.
Yeah, nothing cooler than a 49-year-old wigger.
Like,
I just started live streaming. Cut me some slack. I'm pretty high tech for a boomer. But anyways,
boomer.